This is one I think we all thought was going to get done, but it took a little bit to actually get done. It took until the last day before free agency for Patrick Showtime Kane to remain in Detroit as a Red Wing. And Patrick Kane signs a $3 million deal for 1 season with the Detroit Red Wings to remain in Detroit. But this deal is a deal that we've been seeing more and more lately. That $3 million deal that he signed for 1 season isn't really $3 million. It is a $3 million deal with $4 million in bonuses. So Patrick Kane has the ability to turn this contract into a $7 million contract for this upcoming season. Chris Johnson of the Chris Johnson Show on SDPN has the bonus breakdown on the extension. Patrick Kane can make $2.5 million for 10 games played, $250,000 at 30 games played, $250,000 at 50 games played, $500K for reaching the playoffs as a team, obviously, $250 for a round 1 win, and $250 for a round 2 wins. So based on this, I think we can all pencil in Patrick Kane making $6 million for next season. I think he'll be healthy enough, fingers crossed, I'm not jinxing anything right now. I think he'll be healthy enough to play 50 games and get out there for that $2.5 million bonus at 10, $250 at 30, and then $250 at 50. If the Detroit Red Wings make the playoffs, that is a whole other thing. It's going to be a tough fight in the Atlantic Division for the Detroit Red Wings. They have a long playoff list streak right now, and with Montreal making the playoffs last season looking like they're getting stronger year in and year out, Ottawa making the playoffs last season look like they're getting better year in and year out. You still got Boston, who can turn around their disappointing year last year. We all know what Florida is. We all know what the Leafs are. And then there's obviously Tampa. It's going to be tough for the Red Wings to make that $500K for Patrick Kane, but there is a chance if one of those bottom playoff teams from last year, Ottawa or Montreal, doesn't have a repeat performance, we could see Detroit sneak in there with their newfound goaltending and Patrick Kane back in their lineup. I should actually pause here and explain how performance bonuses work, because I don't think it's common knowledge how these bonus-laden contracts actually work. So this is from Puckpedia. They make it super easy. Here's the info on performance bonuses and carryovers. Performance bonuses are paid to players based on their achievements and are not guaranteed. Only certain players are eligible for performance bonuses in their contract. Entry-level contract players, players that are 35 or older and sign a 1-year contract, players with a minimum of 400 NHL games played signing a 1-year contract after having a long-term injury. A long-term injury is defined as a player on injured reserve for a minimum of 100 days in the last year. So there, Patrick Kane on the 35-plus qualifies for a 1-year bonus-laden contract. And here's the details on what could come to the Detroit Red Wings on their salary cap next year if they meet these requirements. While performance bonuses eventually count against the salary cap, they do not use up space during a season unless a team's potential bonuses exceed 7.5% of the salary cap. Once the season is completed, bonuses earned are added to the final team cap hit. If the total exceeds the salary cap, the amount in excess of the cap is an overage cap charge the following season. If a team exceeds the salary cap due to performance bonuses, then any amount over the salary cap is considered a bonus carryover and counts against the cap next season. So Stevie Y might spend to the cap this season. I think he will. He should, because the Detroit Red Wings should go for this thing and try and make the playoffs and win and get Patrick Kane all of the bonuses when they make the conference finals. So in that case, if those bonuses that Kane gets makes them over the salary cap, they will be on the book for the cap next season. If they spend under it and he makes it, then who cares? Whoopee, they're there and we just pay them and they're fine. The health factor for Patrick Kane, I feel like, is a really important subject here, because Kane should not be playing hockey right now. It's a miracle that he's doing what he is doing. He had hip resurfacing surgery on June 1st, 2023. I'm going to read directly from NHL.com. It has become easy to forget that Kane had hip resurfacing surgery on June 1st, 2023. He had a hip impingement grinding bone on bone. Sorry, I'm not a doctor. I'm probably saying all of these words wrong. So the femoral head was trimmed and capped with metal. while the socket was cleaned out and replaced with a metal shell. That does not sound fun. No hockey player had ever come back from that and excelled. After Detroit signed Kane to a one-year contract on November 28, 2023, Red Wings general manager Steve Yzerman said how effective he's going to be remains to be seen, but based on his health and his testing, I think he has a chance to be very effective. And Patrick Kane did the literal thing that has never been done by any hockey player in the history of the NHL. He came back from that hip surgery and has been an effective player for the Detroit Red Wings. 50 goals in the season when he came off of the hip surgery, 20 goals in that 23-24 season, 27 assists in that 50 games. Almost a point a game coming off the surgery. And now last year, the numbers did tail off a tiny bit, 21 goals, 38 assists, but still 59 points in 72 games. So not quite that point a game. If he was on the pace he was on before, I think that would have been a little higher in the 60s there, but pretty much very close to where he was the season before. All that to be said, Patrick Kane is a very effective player, and the Detroit Red Wings did a very smart thing with this bonus structure. They've kicked that salary cap hit down the line. They aren't paying Patrick Kane the $6 million up front this season. They're paying him the $3 million. And then next year, because of how bonuses are paid out, that's when it is going to hit on your salary cap. So this year, they are going to have a little bit more room because of the structure of this contract. I'm pulling up their Puckpedia right now. They have $17.2 million in cap space after this signing. So next year, when a buyout like Justin Abdicator's comes off the books, that $1 million, and they have to add that Patrick Kane bonus money to their cap hit, it's okay. Plus, you got 50 games out of Patrick Kane, assuming he reaches that $3 million. Plus, you made the playoffs if he reaches that $500K, and then plus, you made it to the second round if he makes that full $7 million. You are not afraid to add that $4 million to the books for next season if you have a playoff team who's in round number 3 of the playoffs. You made it to the conference finals for Patrick Kane to make that $7 million. I am sure he is going to be an impactful player if you are in the conference finals, and he's going to be playing once again, I assume, with his ex-Blackhawks teammate DeBrincat, or he might be on the line with Andrew Copp. But either way, you have your right winger to play behind Lucas Raymond in the top 6. Patrick Kane has been a science miracle so far in his career, and I don't imagine at this point things are going to fall off. I think we know that the surgery worked for Patrick Kane and that he is not like these other players. His hip resurfacing surgery worked. I don't mind $3 million at all. I think that's a great number. And once it balloons to $6 million that you have to pay him this season, that'll be on the cap next year. You've kicked the can down the road. You're trying to be a playoff team this year. You got John Gibson for that reason. You re-signed Jonathan Berggren today for some depth at a okay $1.8 million number. The Detroit Red Wings are starting to fill out. Their defense looks decent. They could sneak into the playoffs. Let's see how things go here for the Red Wings. Let me know what you think about this Patrick Kane deal in the comments below on this YouTube video. We will have plenty more signing and trade videos for you here on the SDPN YouTube channel. Make sure you tune in all day tomorrow for all of those videos, and in the afternoon for a live stream of the Steve Dangle podcast. That is it for me right now. Good night from Toronto.